year?
Well, I think he's amazing, but I also think he's got a big company to run, and so at some point he's going to be going back. He wants to.
Did you want to keep him around?
But I'd keep him as long as I could keep him. He's a very talented guy. You know, I love very smart people. He's very smart, and he's done a good job. You know, Doge is. We found numbers that nobody can even believe, like 400 billion, 500 billion. It could be close to $1 trillion by the time they end on different things. And he's led the charge. And you've seen a lot of his people. And these are people that joined up. I would say the high IQ people. I like high IQ people.
Donald Trump's cognitive decline is becoming more apparent every day. You'd think that the same political party that spent the last 4 years demanding cognitive tests for Joe Biden, who has been running a successful presidency, would be concerned about the man actively damaging our government with his incompetence. But no, MAGA is letting Trump run unchecked, dragging the country down with him. The warning signs have always been there. But today in the Oval Office, they were impossible to ignore. Trump delivered a sluggish press conference where he struggled to articulate key points, making the whole event feel bizarre. We'll break it all down. But before we do, if you could take a moment to like this video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, it would mean a lot. Now, Trump has been spouting plenty of nonsense lately, but this press conference kicked off with a phrase he's been repeating over and over.
This other story, I know it's hypothetical right now, but if you were allowed for some reason to run for a third term, is there a thought that the Democrats could try to run Barack Obama against you?
I'd love that.
For his third term?
Boy, I'd love that. That would be a good one. I'd like that. No, people are asking me to run, and there's a whole story about running for a third term. I don't know. I never looked into it. They do say there's a way you can do it, but I don't know about that, but I have not looked into it. I want to do a fantastic job. We have 4 years, just about, almost close to 4 years. Time is flying, but it's still close to 4 years, and we're getting a lot of credit for having done a great job in the first almost 100 days.
Donald Trump has been floating the idea of running for a third term. Though aside from figures like Steve Bannon or Marjorie Taylor Greene, it's unclear who else has seriously entertained that notion. Even the most extreme MAGA supporters might not have gone that far, and given Trump's current approval ratings, it's doubtful that even the broader Republican Party would back such an idea. But imagine if Barack Obama were able to run against Trump. What would that race look like? Would it be a complete electoral landslide? Could Obama win 65 to 70% of the vote? I won't say I want to see it happen, but the thought experiment is intriguing. Of course, Trump himself wants it to happen because he still believes he could win. In reality, that would be a brutal wake-up call for him, another sign of just how detached from reality he has become. And we saw more evidence of that in this moment.
Mr. President, you met with the chairman.
Somebody said that about me the other day. He said, who doesn't know me very well, they said, "You're such a kind person." And I said, "Say that again." They said, "You're a kind person." I said, "I've never heard that before." It was a weird statement. I was kind.
Who said that?
I've heard of words that, I don't know, I better not tell you. You know, I've been called a lot of things, but it's sort of a different kind of a word. It's like an old-fashioned word, isn't it?
Mr. President, you
This is just the most self-involved person in the world. Donald Trump hasn't given a single thought to anything but himself during this entire presidency. And that comes off pretty obviously when he is asked about the most critical issues of the past couple of weeks, when Donald Trump is asked about the Alien Enemies Act that he signed into law, allowing for his illegal mass deportation plan to take effect. He has no idea what you're talking about. And when he was asked about soldiers who we saw unfortunately lose their lives and found dead in Lithuania, he said this.
Mr. President, have you had any updates on the U.S. soldiers missing in Lithuania?
I have.
Can you give us an update?
So 3 are no longer with us, and 1 is unfortunately probably in the same category, but they haven't declared that yet. It was a very heavy truck, like a toy, but I mean really heavy, that lifted the heaviest equipment, and it would seem that the bank of the lake collapsed. You know, the weight is so big. And it was at night, and it was very cold weather, ice a lot of ice, and it's possibly slipped. And the weight is so enormous of this thing. It's a massively heavy vehicle, and if they slipped a little bit, that's probably what happened, and it flipped. And 3 are gone, and 1 is missing.
On a separate topic.
Trump seems completely incoherent. It's hard to tell if he hasn't been briefed, doesn't remember, doesn't care, or just wasn't paying attention. I know his briefings are usually filled with pictures, toys, and plenty of references to himself just to keep him engaged. But this just proves that he has no real concern for what's happening around him, even as he continues to cause chaos. As I mentioned at the start of this video, he had trouble speaking clearly, which was especially obvious in these next 2 clips.
He's got, despite the way he's been treated, so he's an American patriot, but the way he's been treated with Tesla is just terrible. It's just terrible. In fact, you have a Tesla, and you love it. You love it. He was saying before he bought a Tesla, he loved it. A lot of people are buying Teslas, I think, and I hope they are. He should not be treated that way. He's done an incredible service to our country.
But once he goes back, is Doge going to keep operating?
So I think this is just like, I don't know if he doesn't know the word or he's just slurring again, which is kind of the sign of his deterioration. But he keeps saying Tesla. People are buying Teslas. It's like, I don't know if he's slurring his words. His dentures are falling out. What's the problem? His brain is broken. There's a whole host of things. But is it just me? Or does he not just sound sleepy and out of it and confused? He's like losing it. Really, it's scary, especially because there is so much chaos going on around him and there is absolutely no accountability. And it seems like anyone can get Donald Trump sign off on anything. And he's just being abused by the worst people in the world. Donald Trump himself isn't the only threat in the White House. It's everyone who's trying to take a bit of his power to do whatever they want. Fortunately, it seems like one of those people soon won't be Elon Musk, considering what Trump said right here.
Elon Musk's special government tenure is coming to an end, 130 days, I think another month.
Yeah.
Do you want him to stay longer, or is it time for him to go back to running his companies in Europe?
Well, I think he's amazing, but I also think he's got a big company to run, and so at some point he's going to be going back. He wants to.
Did you want to keep him around?
But I'd keep him as long as I could keep him. He's a very talented guy. I love very smart people, and he's very smart, and he's done a good job. Doge has, we found numbers that nobody can even believe, like 400 billion, 500 billion. It could be close to $1 trillion by the time they end on different things. And he's led the charge. And you've seen a lot of his people. And these are people that joined up. I would say the high IQ people. I like high IQ people. And they've done a great job. No, at some point, Elon's going to want to go back to his company. I will say he's got, despite the way he's been treated, so he's an American patriot.
I need a little bit of hope in this video, and this right here might just be it. Doge could be coming to an end soon. Please let my prayers be answered. That would be incredible. I have no idea why Elon would ever want to step away from the government, considering how much he enjoys taking our money, but I can only hope it's a real possibility. And this wasn't the only time Trump mentioned Elon or a related issue. He also brought him up while discussing Wisconsin here.
Well, it's a big race, Supreme Court race in Wisconsin. It's taking place essentially as it was early voting, so we'll see what happens. It's a big race. I love Wisconsin. We won Wisconsin. Republicans typically don't do very well in Wisconsin, but I did. I actually won it twice. I actually probably won it 3 times to be exact.
We played their side.
Not probably. I won it 3 times. We had a rigged election the second time, but that's one of those things. We had to make this one too big to rig. Would you agree with that, Brian?
Yes,
too big
sir.
to rig?
Yes, sir.
So anyway, but there's a big race, and I hope you get out and vote for the Republican. The woman is a radical left lunatic, and let's see who wins. But the woman will be very bad, and Wisconsin's a big state politically, and the Supreme Court has a lot to do with elections in Wisconsin. So if whoever it is that's running including, even Senate races, etc. But whoever it is in 4 years that runs, having Wisconsin is a very big, we won it early and big, but winning Wisconsin's a big deal. So therefore, the Supreme Court choice is the one you're talking about right now. It's a big race. It's going to be announced fairly shortly.
President Trump, on TikTok.
Oh God, I'm just so exhausted hearing his voice over and over. It's hard sometimes, listening to him repeat the same lies, still so bitter, still so vengeful. He's like a petulant child, constantly whining when things don't go his way. Honestly, he and Elon are a perfect match in the worst way possible. I'm surprised he didn't bring up Elon's attempt to buy Wisconsin. I know he helped him pull it off last year, and now he's trying to do the same for Brad Schimmel. Speaking of which, George Conway just tore into Elon for trying to buy our elections in this clip.
So at a town hall in Green Bay, Wisconsin yesterday, Musk gave away 2 different $1 million checks to people that I guess won some sort of pool who had signed a petition against so-called activist judges. Now, there is a difference between traditionally millionaires, whether the Koch brothers or George Soros, flooding a race of any sort by hiring activists, running ads, and actually just giving direct payments to people who register to vote. Is it legal?
It's illegal. It's criminal, in fact, in virtually all states, including Wisconsin, to pay people for having voted, to pay people to register to vote, and to reward them for voting. Now, that's the reason why when Elon Musk first put out this tweet that he said, I'm going to pay a voter $1 million, and then he had to take it down to say, I'm just paying for the petition. If he's not engaging in outright illegal activity, he's on the cusp of it. And it is just so unseemly. And the bigger problem, though, is, to me, is just the politicization of our courts. And it's bad enough that we have judicial elections. I know many states do. Mostly they've been quiet and nonpartisan, but the escalation of spending by both sides to some extent, but now taken to a completely new level by Musk and the Republicans is very disturbing.
I am still just floored with the hypocrisy of this, all especially when Elon Musk is out there saying that Reed Howard, the founder of LinkedIn, or George Soros, is buying votes, which is literally what Elon Musk is publicly doing and bringing attention to. As we covered in a previous video, Elon had one of the people who is a spokesperson for him say that they did exactly what Elon wanted in voting for Brad Schimmel, and that's the reason why they have $1 million. Now, it's blatant, it's obvious, and it's coming from the same party that was always saying that votes were fraudulent or being bought, or there was this influence from the dark money. But the dark money is the Republican Party. Elon has promised millions to any challenger of a Republican who steps out of line. He bought the last election for Donald Trump. He's trying to buy all the rest. That is their politics. It is of greed and corruption and only serving billionaires. And we have to call it out. We're certainly going to on this show. And if you want to support that, as always, you can hit that subscribe button, leave a like on this video, and if you stuck around to the end, drop a blue heart in the comments. And until next time, I'll see you soon.